and welcome to this final video of 2022. My Christmas morning began very cosily, followed by a beautiful nature walk to set myself up for all the stresses of the day. We then hosted family, had lots of lovely food, good Christmas music, festive company, and just good fun all round. I, of course, had my obligatory festive lush bath, which was absolutely beautiful. This was the sweet pudding bath bomb and smelt divine, just the way I wanted to relax on Christmas evening. Following this, I was back at work on Boxing Day and have been the rest of the days up until today, but it was okay. I still managed to fit in a few fun things. I went to the cinema to see the new Avatar film, which was beautiful, went out for really good food with friends, ate lots of baked goods at home, working my way through the stack of baking I did on Christmas Eve. Lots of cosy mornings with coffee by the Christmas tree lights, which I'm really going to miss once I have to take them all down over the next couple of days. I've also been carrying on with crochet, which I re-picked up as a hobby in the autumn, and have been working on this blanket on and off for the past few weeks. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. It looks really neat. For a complete beginner, I'm very pleased to have created this, and I love the colours as well, and I plan to give this one to my grandma once it is completed. I have, of course, also been doing lots of reading, so you will see here I'm finishing off The Haunting Season, which was a collection of short stories, ghost stories, which are written by a variety of authors and mean to evoke the kind of Victorian tradition of reading ghost stories at Christmas. I loved all of these, some more than others. My favourite, as I expected, was the Natasha Pulley story, which is set within the realms of her Watchmaker of Filigree Street series, which I absolutely love, especially for its characters. So I so enjoyed being back with those. But I really enjoyed the stories as a whole, and I think having the collection all together made for the perfect ambient feeling, which I think the book was going for. So very glad I did pick up this one at this time of year. I haven't got footage of it, but I have also read the 4th episode of the Heartstopper books by Alice Oseman. Again, loved these. Very much not the sort of thing I would usually read, but I have read all 4 volumes this year, and I'm very glad I have. They are such heartwarming, beautiful books with wonderful characters that also tackle some very hard-hitting issues and are incredible in their representation, diversity, and just inclusivity in general, and I think provides exactly the sort of message that all of us, but especially high school kids, need to read. I really wish these books had been around when I was at school, and I really hope that they continue to be popular. And that brings us up to today, which is New Year's Eve. So my plan for today is basically to tie up all of the loose ends of 2022 to catch up with all of the errands, the things around the house, cleaning, sorting, all of the boring things basically, that will make me feel like I'm starting tomorrow, the new year, on a fresh start with everything under control. I think that will be very satisfying. So while I'm doing all of my errands, I do plan to read my final book of the year, which is the audiobook of The Winter Garden by Alexandra Bell. Now, I ordered this audiobook on Audible over a year ago and just never got around to it last winter. So it's been on my TBR for this winter and feels like just the book that I'm in the mood for. I want something that's kind of whimsical and wintry, and I remember when this book came out, it was around the same time as Midnight in Everwood, which I absolutely adored. I gave 5 stars. So if it's even a little bit similar to that one, I'm sure I will love this. I know very little about the story, but I think from hearing people talk about it, it's exactly the sort of thing that I want to be reading right now. So we will start that one this morning. I will do all of my errands. I'll probably check in with you at some point to let you know how I'm getting on with the book, and then probably just have a cosy New Year's evening in. We don't tend to go out and do anything on New Year. It's just so busy everywhere. It's not what I want to be dealing with. So I will be at home with family, having some good food. We might try and play some board games or something later and just enjoy the Christmas decorations for a final day before everything comes down tomorrow. I am also going away tomorrow, so I'm going for a night to stay with my grandma, and we're going to hopefully go walking in the Lake District Mountains for the day, either tomorrow or the day after, depending which has the better weather. So fingers crossed we will get some decent weather and I will be able to go exploring. I've been craving mountains recently. I really need to be outdoors, and I do struggle with the weather being so rubbish that I just feel like I'm trapped indoors all the time. So we will hope for good weather and mountain exploring. But for now, let's get reading, let's get sorting, and I will check in with you a bit later to let you know how I'm getting on with the book.
Prologue. They say gardens are good for the soul, and the magical winter garden most of all. You'll never find it in one place for long. It goes where it is needed, appearing from nothing and vanishing just as quickly. Some days, you might spot it high in the mountains of Nepal. On others, it will materialize in the mists of Mongolia.
So it is now Friday, the 6th of January. The month is already flying by. I do not know where the time is going. And as you will have seen, I've been off work today. We had a lovely walk this afternoon in one of my local parks. I got to see the sunset and some beautiful winter scenery. Got to watch lots of birds, especially the starlings flying in the evening sky, which is one of my favourite natural phenomenon. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this, but the patterns and the shapes they make as they fly through the sky are absolutely beautiful. So please look out for the starlings. Very random nature update. But anyway, more to the point, I wanted to give you a reading update because I have made a little bit of a diversion already from the reading that I planned to do this month. So as you know from the previous clip, I was reading The Winter Garden. However, I made very good progress with this while I was on my beautiful trip to the Lake District a few days ago, and it was the perfect thing to read as an audiobook while I was there. I love reading audiobooks when I'm in the car and out on walks and things, but since being back home, I just haven't found myself motivated to pick it up, and that's not because I'm not enjoying the story. In fact, I really am enjoying it. It's a beautiful book. But I just don't find that I gravitate towards audiobooks when I'm sat in the house. I do if it's the summer and I'm sat out in the sun or I'm on walks in the evenings, but when I'm in the house, I just don't tend to listen to a book because I like to be doing something else at the same time. So The Winter Garden is momentarily on hold, but I have instead read an entire other book, that being 450 from Paddington by Agatha Christie. As you may or may not know already, I'm a big Agatha Christie fan. Cosy mysteries are always something I like to read in the winter, and indeed any time of year, let's be real, but particularly in the winter, and this is one that I have read a couple of times before, but always thoroughly enjoy, and I hadn't read for a few years. So just brief synopsis of this one. So we begin the story with a friend of Miss Marple's on a train on her way to visit Miss Marple. And while she is running alongside to another train at kind of parallel train tracks, she happens to look across through the window and spot a murder. Now, she reports this to the police, but they can't find a body and, of course, don't really take an old woman very seriously. However, Miss Marple does take her friend seriously and believes that she is the one who needs to find out what's happened to this murdered woman. So she ropes in a younger friend of hers called Lucy and gets her to go and work as a housekeeper at this beautiful country mansion, which happens to be alongside where the train and the murder took place. So we follow the adventures thus far of Lucy and her investigations in the house, her interactions with this very classically Agatha Christie, slightly dysfunctional, very rich country manor house family. And it's just a really fun book, this. I love this story. It's very cleverly written. I love the use of language in all of the Agatha Christie books, and yeah, it's just an old favourite of mine, so it was a very good way to start the year off and to read a chunk, especially in the morning before I went to work, to set me up in a positive mindset for the week. So I really enjoyed this one. 4 out of 5 stars for this one. I think it's a solid read. It's not one of my absolutely favourite Agatha Christie's in the way that it's written, but it's a very solid read and a very enjoyable way to start off the year. I do, of course, want to go back to The Winter Garden at some point, but I do not know when that will be. At some point throughout the month, I think, but it's not going to be one that I sit down and focus on, I don't think. However, I have picked up another new book, which I hope to start soon, and I'm so looking forward to. I picked this up from the library earlier today. This is Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan, which is the sequel and the conclusion of the duology of Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which I read about a year ago and absolutely loved. So I'm really anticipating this one. It's based around Chinese mythology. It's the perfect sort of whimsical fantasy vibes that I really am feeling drawn to at the moment. So I'm very excited to get into this one. I don't know whether I will start this today or not. I may well pick this up now when I go and have a bath and enjoy this for the rest of my cosy evening, but we will see. But this is very much an anticipated read for me at the start of the year. So that is the reading update for the moment. I'm sure there will be other books mentioned in this vlog. I don't know how long it's going to be. I'll probably run it on for another week, maybe. It depends what I'm up to, really, and how much I have to chat to you guys about. But that is enough rambling for now. I'm going to go and run my bath and start my new book. Also, I must just show you, you may have seen in the background already, isn't this the most beautiful new mug? This was a present from my friend for Christmas, and she knows well my love of all things woodland and foresty and nature related, and especially mushrooms. Look at the lid. It's so gorgeous. There's nothing in it. I don't know why I'm showing you the inside, but it's just so pretty. I am in love with this and very much looking forward to drinking all of my hot beverages in this over the coming weeks. I am through a good chunk of my book already today. I have just finished part 1, so I'm up to page 135, and I'm getting on so well with this. It's very much what I remember from this world. It's exactly the same feel in this book as there was in the first one, Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and all of these are things that I love. I love the world, I love the feel of the story, that it does feel very mythology based, which is something I loved about the first one as well, and something I love in books in general. And I love the structure of this as well, in that it's almost sort of episodic, so you have these series of quests and adventures and experiences that our main character Jingyan has to go through. I love the characters in this as well. I think the way that they all interact and the way that the characters are written is both very relatable but also very whimsical, and I just really like this world. I'm very much enjoying this. This could well be a 5-star read. The first one I think I did give 5 stars to. If not, it will be a very high 4, I am sure. And I'm really intrigued to see where the romance part of the story goes as well. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you will know I am not a romance reader. I do not like romantic plots whatsoever. However, so this is a take on the classic love triangle, but I really like both of the characters who are the love interests, and I did in the first one, and I'm really, really intrigued to see how our author takes the main character through this particular relationship. And we do have a certain element of switching from one to the other, but I'm intrigued to see how it ends and which one she ends up with. If either of them, I mean, she might end up with neither. That would be a good way to go. A little different, but I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I love both of them and I like the relationship that she has with both of them, so I do find that very readable, even though I don't read romance, as I said. I do tend to find romance a bit more palatable in fantasy books though. Make of that what you will. But yeah, a really strong start. I feel like that was really rambly, but a good strong start. I want to read a bit more of this evening, and I may well finish it this weekend, to be honest. It is a very fast read. This being the hardback looks longer than it actually is. It's about 450 pages, so I've made a very good start with this, and we'll probably get at least another 100 pages read this evening. So I will be sure to check in with you tomorrow and let you know either my overall thoughts on the book or at least where I've got to so far. Perfect afternoon escape into the hills. It is bitterly cold today, but promising to be a very beautiful sunset and just the thing I needed when I'm feeling so tired today. I love a bit of fresh air and sunshine in the winter. It really brightens up the day. We have so little daylight and I just need to escape on my days off. Hello, it is now Sunday evening. I am back from yet another beautiful walk, which you've probably just seen some footage of, but I just wanted to check in to wrap up this video and to let you know my final thoughts on Heart of the Sun Warrior, because I have just about finished this one this evening. I've read about the last 100 pages or so since getting back from my walk, and I'm really impressed with this book. It's everything I hoped it would be. I think I am probably going to give it a 5 stars. I'm on the cusp of a high 4 or a 5 stars, but as I said, it was everything I wanted it to be. It fit very well into the genre that it was trying to create. I loved the characters. All of the things I've said before about the romantic plot pulled through to the end, and I was really impressed with actually the way that this book was rounded out. I liked the way that she wrapped up the story, and I felt like the events and the decisions that were made were very true to how our main character Jingyin feels like she would have behaved. So a really good story all around, and I'm going to really miss this world. I kind of want to go back and read the first one again already, but I won't do that because I have lots of other things to read. But a very solid read, and I'm really glad I've managed to get through this one in such quick succession as well. I've read this in just over 2 days, which is the fastest I've read a book for a while, and I hope means good things to come with my reading productivity for the rest of the month. So without further ado, I will wrap up this video here. Thank you very much for watching as always. Leave me a like down below if you enjoyed it. Chat to me in the comments about any of the books I've read, the places I've been, anything else you'd like to discuss with me. I always love to chat to you guys. And please consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content from me. It really means a lot and helps grow my channel too. Thank you for watching. I will see you very soon for another video. So goodbye for now.